Each week, we hold a time in our service for the sharing of joys and sorrows. We had a couple of members write to me this week and ask me to share what is on their hearts. The first stone this morning is placed for Lisa Eppner. Lisa Eppner wants to share a joy. Lisa says that on Wednesday she is going to be moving back to Chapel Hill. Lisa writes that she's a little nervous, but that she has plenty of gloves, disinfectant wipes, and a mask. So let us hold Lisa in our hearts for her move back to Chapel Hill on Wednesday. Mariana Fiorentino asked me to place a stone for a sorrow. Mariana writes, "My dear friend Camille passed away last Sunday, 1 year after being diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She was a beautiful life force, shining light wherever she was." And Mariana asks us to send comforting thoughts and prayers to Camille's husband, Bob, and to Camille's mother. Kathy Hodges asked me to place a stone, and Kathy writes, "After the replacement of an aortic valve, putting in a pacemaker, and 3 weeks of rehab, that Kathy is celebrating the 88th birthday of her mom, Doris Hodges. That Doris is at home in Durham, came home on Wednesday, and that the whole Hodges family is grateful for her progress and also look forward to her starting cardiac rehab when it reopens." A final stone is placed for all of those joys and sorrows that were not spoken this morning, but that live in our hearts. Won't you join with me in the time of prayer and meditation? Spirit of life, source of our being and our becoming, as we enter this time of honesty, connect us with our deepest feelings, our longings, our worries, as well as our dreams. Let us hold, in this time of prayer, let us hold a place to mourn. For it is okay to mourn. We are all grieving together. We grieve the loss of connection, the physical separation from friends and loved ones. We grieve cancellations of travel and programs and classes and all of the things in our life that feed us, that we look forward to. I, along with many in our church, are grieving the cancellation of our civil rights pilgrimage to Montgomery and Selma that I was so much looking forward to later this week. Many of us, I know, are grieving from a pause or a disruption of our working lives. So even as we hold a place to mourn and grieve, let us also turn our hearts to courage, what Paul Tillich called the courage to be. May we be turned in our living to an awareness and gratitude. May we be emboldened to small acts of kindness, the kind word, the kind note, the kind phone call, tiny acts of blessing. May we develop a greater forbearance for the struggling of others, just as we would hope for forgiveness for our own missteps and struggles. In this time of prayer, I would ask you to pray with me, to hold in prayer all of the healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, therapists and techs, aides, and everyone else in healthcare. Those in our congregation, those throughout the Triangle, indeed throughout the world. If you would like to hold a healthcare worker, a doctor or a nurse or a healthcare worker in prayer, I would ask you to, in this time of silence, speak their name. To these joys and sorrows, to these prayers, we add our own, the silent stirrings of our own hearts. Amen, and blessed be.